Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy. Behind me, a 2002 Honda Civic with a 1.7 liter engine in it. Apparently it has a broken timing belt. Now, the question will invariably come up in this situation, did the valves get bent? So in other words, without the valve train and the pistons being in time together, there is a possibility where the piston could continue moving and coming to contact with, say, an open valve. If that's the case, then you bend the valve and you have to remove the cylinder head and do a lot more work. This is my approach in these situations, and it always has been. I go ahead and replace the timing belt and water pump, and I've been lucky several times. I do that and I try it. And if the engine runs, great. If it doesn't, well, I know what I got to do next, but I've already taken care of the timing belt and water pump, so I don't have to go back and do that work. So I say, don't go in with the assumption that you need to rip the cylinder head off immediately. Replace the timing belt first. So that's what we're going to do here today. Now, this is not going to be a detailed step-by-step on the timing belt and water pump on this vehicle. I merely wish to explore my philosophy of how to attack this problem. I do have a detailed video on step-by-step timing belt replacement on this engine. In fact, this engine in particular with the 1.7 liter that I'll put a link to down in the description if you're interested. Otherwise, before the end of this video, we'll know whether or not just replacing the timing belt fixes this car or not. Well, it's confirmed. That there is what you get called a bad day. Ain't much of that timing belt left at all. Almost looks like the tensioner might have gone. It doesn't look like it broke. It looked like the tensioner went and it kept machining itself against the inside of the cover here. That's all this is, little bits of timing belt. We'll find out once we get the lower cover off. Yuck. As I suspected, this was a tensioner fail. There shouldn't be this movement. The bearings came out of it, I'm pretty sure. Or it was an issue with the installation. I'm seeing a lot of broken fasteners in here, things of that nature that sort of clue me into like maybe the last person that did this work didn't care all that much, because really the timing belt's intact. It's that tensioner that went bad. And fortunately, I'm getting a timing belt kit which contains a tensioner, so that part is on the way. And now we get the rest of this stuff apart. Well, put the new belt on, see what happens. Here's sit rep. This was a spring that was on there. This is elongated and stretched. It's not good. I went into my stash and found this, and the diameter is a little bit bigger, but its effective length is way better, and it's still got some spring tension to it. So as long as it's not too fat, I can use it. Luckily, I'm a pack rat and I keep crap like this around 4 times just like this, because there ain't no way I'm finding one of these today, and I'm not letting a spring hold me up. They didn't have any clue of how to set this tensioner is what I think happened, and that's why I think this got all elongated, and that's what I think cascaded into what we have here, which is hopefully not a damaged engine. Let's put this back together, fire it up, see if it will fire up. I have the cam in time, I have the crank in time. All right, my spring's looking good. It's not coming in contact with the belt, despite the fact that it's a little bit wider. Not putting any coolant in. I just need it to run long enough to know whether or not there is an issue. So that's it. If there isn't an issue, I'll top it off with coolant, finish putting it back together. If there is an issue, then I gotta remove the cylinder head so I can get to the valves. So that's the state that I'm in. So negative battery cable connected, and we'll see if she fires. It's either gonna work or it's not. We win! At least from what I just heard, it started up and ran. If there was a bent valve, it would have been shaking really bad. But what I saw there, I believe, was just fuel loaded up in the cylinders from it trying to run, whatever. I know somebody's going to want to know what the finished product was. Here it is. All put back together. Just finished bleeding out the cooling system. Running like a champ. So this little Civic gets to die another day. Okay, judging from the goo that is on that water pump gasket, also judging from this tensioner, which at least to me, from where I'm sitting, I can clearly see how it's damaged. It's got that big lip right there. So the whole thing wasn't sitting in there properly. It was sort of cocked over to one side. This spring is overextended. All these things point to, at least in my eyes, an installation error. Yeah, it's very important that you install things properly for longevity. I'm surprised there wasn't a noise complaint, considering that timing belt pretty much machined itself to death. It is what it is. Anyhow, I didn't want to make this a detailed timing belt replacement video. I'll put a link in the description to one of those that I did if you're interested in that information. But the premise of this video was, if you find yourself with a broken timing belt, give it a try. Put a timing belt and possibly a water pump on it, and then try it. If it works, great. If not, well, you got more work to do, but it's less work in the sense that you already covered the broken timing belt. You're gonna have to replace it anyway. So this is the direction I go. And there are times where you say to yourself, is it worth trying to save the engine? I get it, but your choice based on your situation. This is how I handle it if people want to move forward. And in this case, we will be able to. Yay! Anyhow, if you have automotive questions, I'm going to ask you head over to EricTheCarGuy.com. Yes, there's answers over there. If you wish to connect with me socially, I can be found on Google+, Facebook, Twitter, also Instagram. Close each of my videos with be safe, have fun, stay dirty. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.